Okay. Good morning, everybody. So we're going to go around and do introductions, and then we'll hand it over to our speakers. So I'm just going to go around and call on everybody. Adam, do you want to start?
Sure. Adam Menard, I'm the town planner for Auburn.
Thanks. John Marsland?
John Moslin, I'm the president of the Blackstone River Watershed Council, Friends of the Blackstone.
Ted, did you say Ted?
Yeah.
It kind of got clipped. Ted Beauvais with the Blackstone River Watershed Association.
Thanks. Kevin?
Hi, everyone. Kevin Rice. I am administrative assistant for Blackstone River Valley National Historical Park.
Thank you. Eric?
Good morning. I'm Eric Reichert, Superintendent of Blackstone River Valley National Historical Park.
Rebecca?
Rebecca Krieger, Director of Cultural Resources at Blackstone River Valley National Historical Park.
One day I'm going to get historical right and not historic, because I was trying to say historic. Brittany?
Hi, I'm Brittany. I am with Mass Audubon and the Climate Change Education Program Manager there.
Thank you. Anne?
Armstrong. I am an assistant faculty or professor of human geography in the Department of Earth, Environment, and Physics at Worcester State University.
Thanks. Casey?
Hey everybody, I'm Casey Merkel, and I'm project coordinator for the Rhode Island Flood Mitigation Association.
Thanks. Ryan?
Hi, everyone. Ryan Saul, I'm associate planner with CMRPC.
Thank you. David?
David Tapscott, Uxbridge Board of Health.
Thanks. Amanda?
I am Amanda. I'm a lab tech at Upper Blackstone Clean Water.
Thanks for joining, Amanda. Kelly?
Hey everyone, Kelly King. I'm an environmental planner at the Horsey Witten Group.
And Nick?
Cohen, also environmental planner with Horsey Witten.
Thanks. Carla? I didn't do my Upper Blackstones together, sorry. Oh, you're on mute, Carla.
Hi, Stephanie. Carla Sanger, I'm the director at Upper Blackstone Clean Water.
Thank you. Sarah, missed my CMRPCs too.
I'm Sarah. I'm a assistant resiliency planner at CMRPC.
Darcy? Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm the Watershed Outreach Manager with the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program.
Thank you. Judy?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Judy Rondo. I am the non-point source outreach coordinator with the Watershed Planning Program at Mass DEP.
Allison?
Good morning. This is Allison Hamill from Rhode Island DOT Environmental Office of Stormwater Management.
Thanks. Deb?
Deb Carey with Community Engagement and Advocacy Manager for Mass Audubon Central Region.
Thanks. Katie?
Hi, I'm Katie Liming. I'm a former collaborative intern.
Thanks. Heather?
Hi, I'm Heather Perry. I'm the Water Quality Program Coordinator for the Blackstone River Watershed Coalition.
And Peter Coffin is sitting next to her using her Zoom, the coordinator for the Blackstone River Coalition.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you both in person there. Daniela? Daniela, we have you on mute. Looks like you're from the Worcester Green Court, so thank you for joining us. Did I miss anybody? Oh, sure. You last, so that I'm so sorry. So you could hear how we introduced ourselves, but please feel free to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Peter Stetson. I'm the coordinator for the Rhode Island, or not the coordinator, but I'm the state liaison to the NCF Envirothon for the Rhode Island Envirothon organization. I was a coach for Envirothon for 16 years and past president and now the current treasurer for Rhode Island Envirothon. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us. Awesome. So give me 1 second here to unpause my screen. And then, great, okay. So thank you both to Peter and Brittany for joining us today to talk about Envirothon and the really wonderful volunteer opportunities coming up. So anyone who is interested in that, listen up and go ahead. You should be able to swap and start screen sharing, Brittany.
All right, bear with me. I just figured out how to do this last night.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
Thanks. I figured out how to see my notes, which is amazing. All right. Okay, so thank you so much for having me today to talk about Envirothon. I said it was for Mass Audubon, but it's just because this Envirothon role is so new to me, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you all about it. So it's one of the leading natural resource programs for high school students, which emphasizes hands-on problem solving and at the competition and an involvement, and it prepares them for careers in environmental studies and gives them some really nice citizen training as well. Keep going. It brings together a ton of orgs across Massachusetts, which it looks like the Blackstone Collaborative does as well. So impressive, all the different groups that are coming together for this, and it feels really similar to what we're doing too. So as I said, I'm here for Mass Audubon, and we're just so excited to be able to partner more with Envirothon this year. They put me as the chair of the current issue, which this year is climate change in your community, which just makes so much sense seeing that I'm the climate change education manager for Mass Audubon. So it's been really fun to work in something that I care about so much. The other part of my job is to work with the Youth Climate Leadership Program, where we mentor high school youth to take climate action in their community, but then also to bring their peers along with them in big events. So this all kind of wraps up together. Envirothon benefits students across Massachusetts. We've had 65 different schools participate in the competition just in the last 7 years. And we are always looking to add more schools and more districts to the competition. So on the day of the competition, and this is funny, I was kind of giving Steph my little elevator pitch on this last week, and she was like, wait, I don't even know what this is. So I thought I'd take a step back for those of you who haven't been to the competition before. So there are 5 eco stations that the students go through. They're teams of 6 from each high school, and they go through wildlife, forest, water, and soil stations, and then the current issue presentation. At the main stations, they're doing multiple choice and fill in the blank, all kinds of questions like tree ID, and you see there's antler ID down there, soil pit studies. And then during their current issue presentation is where they tell us all about what they have learned in their community from studying the current issue, which this year, again, climate change in your community. We are asking them to come up with their #1 suggestion of how they can address climate change in their community. And so this is why I'm here, is because we need judges. We actually need 60 judges for the day of the competition. That's a lot of people. And they come from organizations from all across the state. You don't have to be a climate change expert to do this. You just have to be interested in what the students are talking about and want to help them grow their community engagement skills. So I put an example of the judging sheet on the right here, and they're going to be broken into 4 different categories that we'll be judging the students on. It's basically defining their community, exploring their community, what is their #1 idea for addressing climate change in their community, and then overall presentation. Each one of those things is worth 25 points. There are 6 judges per tent. Those scores are averaged, and then that score is added to the main score from all those other stations, and that's how we rank the teams. Now, a lot of times these current issue presentations lead to action. and lead to a project. And these are some of the really cool projects that have come out of the current issue. So in 2019, Norfolk Aggie actually started a program to grow hydroponic lettuce in their classroom so the 5th graders could have salad at Elm Street School. We have students who are trying to change zoning in their town to allow for farmers market. I know, students who are helping community members get lead in soil for their soil for gardening, for testing. And then Rockland High School students actually helped the town to sample 10 stormwater outfalls during dry and wet weather flows. So if a team goes and takes the extra step and does a project from their presentation, they're eligible for the Community Engagement Award. And this is a non-competitive award, and anyone who does something with the knowledge they've gained to make their community a better place, they'll receive one of these awards at the competition. Massachusetts does really well. I believe it's the top 2 teams from our Massachusetts competition gets to go to nationals. And this year, it's always in the summer. This year it was in Ohio, and Lexington placed 1st out of all of the teams in North America. I know, so impressive. And then other teams have typically like 4th is the best we do, which is still pretty good. This year it's in New Brunswick, so we're excited to send our winning teams there. And just a reminder, this could be you watching very engaged, excited high school students talking about things. Last year it was zero waste, so that's what this was from. This year again, it'll be climate change in their community, May 25th at Blackstone River and Canal Heritage State Park in Uxbridge. So please contact me. Steph knows how to get a hold of me, and we'll put my email in the chat and let us know if you're interested. Thanks.
That was awesome. Thank you, Brittany. I think there's one big thing to mention, which is that it's May 25th.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe you said it. May 25th. So Massachusetts folks, you can save the date on that. And then to learn a little bit more about Rhode Island perspective and your issue and judge. I don't know. Do you all have the same issue? We'll find out. Peter, go ahead. You can share your screen as well.
Okay, hold on just a second here. Get that going. So not really knowing what you guys, let's see, come on, let's go. You can do, there we go. So this is one of my teams. This was 2009, I think it was. And we ended up, wait a minute, let's go back. Didn't put this on a timer. Oh, well, it's switching through on its own. I don't know why it's doing that, but that's okay. So we also do the same similar categories, same kind of things that we do. Some of the activities that we've worked on in the past, having each of the students identify soils and go through all of that. Point things in aquatics that the students need to know. We have various types of programs set up. Some of them are after school programs. Some of them are within the school programs during a class time. Last year, we placed 7th at national, which is our highest. And we were really impressed with the Massachusetts team, the way that they presented and what they did. And so we do a lot of the similar things. We have people from our Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management. They're involved in the aquatics. We have a couple of the people are from the Narragansett Bay Estuary program that help us out. Maureen DeWare is there. So we have quite a few people that get involved. Some of the groups do other things as well. So they go do outdoor activities. I was leading field walks for the students to learn. Some of the reasons why you might want to be involved in Envirothon or to learn about Envirothon is some of these activities that are there. We have for a couple of years had a middle school program. And so with the idea that the middle school program would go and the kids would move on the way up into the high school. And so that's a possibility. These are what some of the people that have graduated from Envirothon have gone on to do in various colleges. Here's the coordinator. here's my information. Our board meets the third Thursday of each month. We do have Rhode Island Envirothon website. This is our 29th year. So we've been involved. We started in 1996. People from Connecticut came over and helped the people that were running Envirothon at that time to start the competition. So we've been involved in quite a bit. We have a t-shirt competition that we have the students design the t-shirt for our competition, which they in turn get to take the leftover shirts. We always print more than what we need, and they take them to the national competition, which, as Brittany mentioned, is going to be in New Brunswick. The students that are there and the volunteers that are there coming from the United States are going to need passports. So we're keep pushing to have the teams be aware that if they win, they're going to need passports to go. Our competition is May 19th. It is always the third Friday of May. And so the schools participate then. Last year we had, I think we had 11 teams. It goes up and down. We generally have between 6 and 8 schools that are involved. We keep pushing others to get involved, but for some reason or other, there's pullback from a lot of educators to be involved. It does take a bit of time to help prepare a team. We have teams of 5 students. Last year and the year before, we started with the national process of having the students prepare a PowerPoint presentation, giving the teams individual thumbsticks, thumb drives for them to put their PowerPoint presentation on. They generally find out about a month before the competition what the locally developed topic is going to be, based on what the national organization puts out, what the host state or province puts out as theirs. So last year we did something very similar to what was requested at national. And so the students were very well prepared for that. And the national competition is wicked intense. It is five days, and the students just keep going and going and going. One of the nice things was being able to spend a day away from the competition. And the students all went to a water amusement park in Dayton, and they had a really good time. And that's what that lead slide was on mine, was the visit that the team made to the Grand Canyon. This coming time in Sackville, New Brunswick, it's going to be a day spending in the community, going around to various spots in Sackville. So that's it in a nutshell. We're constantly looking to put people in as volunteers for organizations to come in and either serve on the board or also to help out on the competition day, looking for judges. We generally look between 12 and 15 judges that we would need. We do hold a training session for the judges prior to the competition so that they have an opportunity to kind of see what it was. And we used something very similar to the national form. When the teams get to national, this is what they have to do. We've actually, last year we upped our requirement for the amount of time, because when the students get to national, they have to do a 20-minute oral presentation, backed by PowerPoint. And so we've mirrored that so that we can help better prepare that team that's going for that competition. One of the things that we do for the winning team is we have individual training sessions from professionals in the field to help them prepare for going to a new environment and looking at what's there. And we have a oral preparation part of that, where the students get a chance to see the videotaped oral presentations from past years that have occurred both on our level, but also on the national level. And it really gives the students an opportunity to see a lot more about what's going on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you for the time. I look forward to hearing from anybody what's going on. Envirothon's it's a really cool, really fun environment for the kids to learn about. Somebody's got a hand up.
Oh, we can't hear you, Deb. No, we switched your audio. Nope. I'm going to give you a minute to work on that. In the meantime, I know Casey put a comment in the chat. What do you need to do to organize an Envirothon team working for a nonprofit or if you were a teacher? Peter, do you want to take us?
Brittany, you want to go for that?
Okay.
I can talk about Rhode Island.
I think the question was for Rhode Island.
Yeah,
Okay.
Casey's from the Rhode Island Floodplain Mitigation Association.
Okay, so a team basically is 5 students within a school or an outside organization, Boy Scout troop, homeschoolers, within a specific group. So what we're trying to avoid is putting together a Superman team. But it would be within an individual organization. There would be 5 students involved. Those 5 students would help prepare and learn about the environment. And then on the competition day, they would come and compete both in a written as well as a hands-on type testing situation. It's a one-day competition, basically in the morning. And this year it's going to be at the Goddard State Park here in Rhode Island. But finding an interested teacher has been the hardest thing for us.
Do you want to try and go again?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, I just wanted to give a pitch for participating in both. I have been a judge for Envirothon for about 35 years, and I consider it the single most rewarding experiences, because seeing those young people who've taken the time to learn and study and then take on a community project, I'm not kidding, it's incredibly powerful. And the other judges are all great people and you network, and it's just so worthwhile. So I was so happy to hear Brittany and Peter make plugs for more involvement. So I hope you all will consider. Thanks.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you. Judy?
Yeah, sorry, this is for Brittany. I had to step away for just a minute. When is the Envirothon being held this year? What is the date?
Massachusetts one is May 25th.
Thank you.
And the Rhode Island one is May 19th, and national is at the end of July, up in New Brunswick, Canada.
Great. Any other questions that people have for Brittany or Peter? Well, I'm signing up to be a judge. I've never done this before, but I'm pretty pumped about it. I will be there in Uxbridge, and just to make like a plug for DCR's Riverbend Farm, if you haven't been there, it is one of the absolute best access locations on the main stem of the Blackstone in Massachusetts. Probably the best in Massachusetts and one of the best in the bi-state watershed. So if you haven't been there, check it out. It's really awesome. And you're right on the Blackstone River. So, it's a great connection for us. So I encourage you all to go check it out and be judges. Okay, we had, thank you very much, Peter and Brittany, for coming today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And you're welcome to stick around. You don't have to, but you are welcome to. We did have a few people join us since we did introductions. If we want to just have them introduce themselves. Daniela, I can see you now. Do you want to introduce yourself? You are on mute. I'll give you a second. And I think we also had Mark Nemirovsky. I'm calling on you in the middle of things. I know it's hard. We also have Bill Nepal. Mark Nemirovsky, I think, is from DOT.
Yeah, hey
Megan
everybody.
second.
Yeah, you caught me just as my coworkers was saying good morning. So,
Sorry.
hi, my name is Mark. I work at RIDOT. I oversee the illicit discharge program, and yeah, I've been involved in environmental work, kicking around for longer than I'd care to admit. So, hi everybody.
Thanks. And Bill Napolitano.
Hi, I'm Bill Napolitano. I'm an environmental planner with Southeastern Regional Planning. And just to echo the sentiments of the Environthon people, I've been a judge and a coach in the past, and it's absolutely amazing. It really is. So good luck, Steph, getting in there, being a judge. Great experience.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have Andy. That's all the NPS today.
Hey, everybody. It's great to be here. Yeah, thank you so much.
Perfect. Okay, so moving on our agenda. Can you still see my screen? Is this working? Hopefully. Okay. I'm trying to learn how to share my screen and see what I'm doing at the same time. It's a challenge. So I don't have any updates for the bikeway or greenway. Does anyone else have any updates that you want to share? Okay, that's okay. Yeah, Deb.
Actually, this is secondhand, but we had one of our volunteers attend the Blackstone River Valley Chamber of Commerce Love Your Legislators breakfast on Tuesday morning. And I had wanted to go, but I couldn't. But she said there was talk about the bikeway getting some state funding, something like 50,000 for something. So I was curious what that was. It actually didn't sound like very much for what's needed. So I was curious. So maybe that's something we can learn more about.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I know that they're working on the very southern portion in Blackstone to connect the states, but that's definitely a multi-million, multi-year project. So I'm not sure what that might have been, but I will poke around.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anything else there? Okay. Water quality folks, anything that you want to share?
Hi, this is Heather from the Blackstone River Coalition. So we're working still with the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program on getting our clickable map, and we're very close. We're very excited about that. We'll have the data out there for people to access. We are also having our summit again, which we haven't had in a couple of years because of COVID. So that's going to be April 1st in the morning. We still are working on exact times and stuff. So we're really excited. We're going to be able to share our data with the volunteers and recognize all their hard work. And the other update, we're still waiting to hear about the Mass DP water quality monitoring grant that we applied for back in November, I think it was. So hopefully that will come through. I don't know if Peter wants to add anything.
Just that the summit on Saturday, April Fool's Day, we're hoping to have at the Visitor Center in Quincy Village, but it's not confirmed yet because they're not sure when they're going to officially open that establishment. So we're hoping that we can get special consideration. So if not there, we're sending out the save the date. So keep that Saturday morning on April 1st.
Great. That was one of my questions, is if you had a location. I bet they'll let you do it because I have a group going in there for Holy Cross and they're opening it up for them. So
okay,
that sounds good. And do you know when you're supposed to hear back about that DP grant?
It was January 6th, I believe.
Oh, cool. All right.
And it's supposed to all be spent by June 30th. And so we're holding off purchasing our materials until we hear yes or no, but yeah.
And I'm assuming, Judy, you don't have any update on that, do you? On timing?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I don't. I know that there is a great deal of sensitivity about the short timeline, so the water quality program does want to get that out as quickly as possible, but I haven't had an update on when the announcements will be made. You could contact Bob Smith and just check with him on how it's coming along if you like.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thanks. Okay. Anything else on water quality that folks want to share?
Yes, Stephanie and everybody, Ted Beauvais with the Blackstone River Watershed Association. Some of you may be aware that Worcester DPWP sent out a final notification plan for combined sewer overflows. This is basically a result of a Massachusetts law from a couple of years ago that required that there be notifications whenever these overflows occur. And there have been notifications, and I've received them, a number of people do. In the case of Worcester, they have one point that they discharge from for these combined sewer overflows, and it is partially treated. So it's the sewer water and the storm water commingled, goes through a partial treatment and then a discharge. But that still qualifies as that type of discharge and requires notification. So we had several comments on their plan. The comment period goes till March 1st. We'll be sending a letter later this week or next week with our comments. And again, they're doing more than some other places because they do the partial treatment, and we want to thank them for that. But there's obviously more that needs to happen, both by way of notifications and, in our opinion, ultimately to get all the stormwater and the sewer lines completely separated so that we don't have this combined system that there is now. And I think about 12% of Worcester is still combined. The rest of it isn't.
Thanks, Ted. Can you clarify, when are those comments due, did you say?
I'm sorry?
When did you say the comments are due?
March 1st is the comment deadline.
Thank you. And I know you shared that with me. Is that something that we can share to other groups and see if they want to sign on to it or write similar letters?
Sure, I will. I shared a draft with you. I'll finalize and send that out and copy you. And at that point, it'll be the final letter, and you can share as you wish.
Great, thank you. I will include that as a follow-up to everybody.
Okay,
that'd be great.
Carla, go ahead.
Hey, good morning again. You were talking about water quality, and I was reminded that we just finalized the 2020-2021 river water quality monitoring program data, and all of that is on our website. There's a story map there, which is a nice illustration to go through the program and kind of get a sense of it, where the samples are taken and what kind of data there is and data trends. And it is kind of a smart story map where you can click on it and see like changes over time. So check it out if you can. I just noticed that I don't have the actual report itself up, but I'll put it up right after this meeting. So both the story map and the report should be up there. And all that data does go into DEP, but it's a nice graphical look at the data. And I'm sure it'll all come together nicely with like what Heather was talking about and what they're doing with their with all their water quality sample data. So check it out. It's at ubcleanwater.org. You can easily find it from either the first page or under operations under the Blackstone River Monitoring Program. I can send a link actually in the chat to the actual story.
I was just going to ask you. Thank you. Perfect. And then I can put it in the notes as well.
Okay.
That sounds great. And probably I think, Carla, you have such connection to this already, but DEP had recently asked that any water quality monitoring data be shared with them, make sure they have it. So I know BRC is on top of that. Carla, I'm sure you're on top of that. Anyone else who does water quality monitoring, let me know or reach out to DEP or BRWA probably, or BRC, sorry.
You're right, though. There's a deadline coming up not too far down the road in order to be included in the next integrated list of waters work that they're doing, right?
Yes, I can find that email unless anybody else has it off the top of their head.
Right, because like we know our 2022 data won't be in time, but our 2021 data is. Thanks.
Give me 1 second and I will find it because I know I just sent it to Heather. Yes. Oh, sorry, it wasn't DEP, it was DEM. So Rhode Island is looking for all of the water quality data and information from 2017 through 2022. And I can give you a link for that. Data should be submitted by April 1st. So you've still got a little bit of time for that. I will put this in the notes, and if you want to share any of that, Colin Millar at RIDEM is the contact there, but I'll put it in the notes here. Anything else on water quality? Okay. Here we go. How about university work? I have some updates, but does anybody else have something to share about university work that they're doing?
I can
Yeah.
share. Oh, no, I can share a little bit about what we're doing at Worcester State right now, although it's a pollinator, like habitat related. But we're working on pollinator garden right outside of right on Patch Reservoir, where we have some property that we share with Greater Worcester Land Trust, and are collaborating with the town of Oxford to help them with some of the new pollinator campaign there. But I'm also, thinking about planning for my global environmental change class next fall, and so we'll hopefully be reaching out to some folks for field trip opportunities.
Awesome. Right, my notes. That's great. You said the pollinator garden is in Oxford?
Yeah, the Oxford DPW or the Conservation Commission is putting in a pollinator garden right in front of the DPW office building, and then they're starting a pollinator, like a whole pollinator campaign. And I think they're trying. So they're working on a big campaign there.
Great. Okay.
Steph, a quick update here. Peter, with the Heather and I are meeting this morning with Holy Cross. Professor Bill Subject has a class, and at least one of their students has expressed an interest in working further on the Blackstone, and she has an interest in dams. So we might be ducking out the end of today's meeting, going over there and seeing how we can most productively use her time and give her a good project.
Fantastic. Anybody else?
This is related to the student that's interested in dams. Emily Vogler is going to give a workshop webinar style presentation through RIFMA. We're going to host her on March 24th. And it's during lunch, so at 12 p.m. and it's on a Friday. Let me just double check that's March 20th. Yes, March 24th, 12 to 1. And she helped create the dam atlas, so she's got a lot of awesome knowledge on the subject.
Yeah, so that dam atlas is still working on that. It's beautiful. It's a ton of information. I would definitely encourage folks. I've seen like a sneak peek of it, but not a full presentation. So I would definitely encourage folks to check that out because that's really interesting. You said March 24th at noon. And Christy, could you put in the chat maybe a link to how to sign up for that?
Yeah, there's no registration yet, but I should put that together next week sometime. But I will put some links in there that will help people get the information when it comes out.
Great. Thank you. That's awesome. So speaking of dams, actually, and culverts, close connection. So I'm also working with, I mentioned these last time, but WPI Holy Cross and Clark. So WPI, I have 4 students who are doing an IQP, their interactive qualifying project. They are going to be doing culvert assessment. We're going to be focusing on working in Sutton, and I'm working with their DPW to identify a few, probably like a dozen culverts to do just their training. So those students, and also a group of students from Holy Cross, they are doing a community-based learning project. There are 2 different pieces of that project, but one of them will be on culvert assessment. So I'm not sure how many students from that class will join, but we will be doing a very small culvert training on March 4th. I haven't opened it up to everybody because I just don't have the capacity to have a ton of people at that. But if you definitely absolutely like want to do this and maybe do the first part of your training on that day, I'll probably spend more of my time with the students, but just to make sure I offer it out there, that will be in March 4th which is a Saturday. And then I'm also working in Northbridge to plan a training for everybody else basically in June. And sorry, that isn't until June, but that's when we all have time to work together. Holy Cross is also helping us with the Fish Passage Parade. So May 21st, May 21st, save the date. In Pawtucket, we will be doing this Fish Passage Parade. It'll be led by the Narragansett Indian tribe. They're doing drumming and dancing. We're connecting the importance of creating fish passage over the lower 4 dams on the Blackstone in Rhode Island to the importance of these anadromous or migratory fish and indigenous culture. We're going to be talking about economics. We'll talk about culture. We'll talk about ecology and all of these things together. So save the date there. And then Clark, last time I talked about a few different maps that several students had made for me. I do need to still create a web page on my website about maps. I think all of the students have like one more edit to make on all those maps, so I haven't actually shared them yet, but that will be coming out soon. Thank you, Carla, for sharing the links there. David, Dam Atlas is not public yet. He's still working on it, but we are hoping to finalize it soon. And okay, great. Thank you for those links. Anything else on university connections?
I'm just curious, Stephanie, are you doing a NAACC training? Is that what that? Okay, I just wasn't sure if you were doing the. You're obviously aware of all that. Then I'll stop talking.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of NAC. It frustrates me when folks do culvert assessment and don't put it into the NAC database. The Blackstone has like 40 culverts assessed out of 5,000 in the database. So we definitely need more information in there. And yeah, I have a running list of folks who are interested in doing that training. So if you'd like to be a part of it and get certified in the North Atlantic Aquatic Connectivity Collaborative protocol, please let me know and I'll put you on our list. And RIDOT, if you want to help me host another training, I would love to work with you. I know that you've offered before and I haven't been ready, but I think I'm ready now. So we can start thinking about dates.
Yeah, sure. If you're planning on doing a training in Rhode Island, I'd be happy to assist in any way that I can. It's been a while since I've done it, so I'm a little bit rusty, but I certainly know the protocols, cold with some review. So
Perfect.
yeah, any assistance you need, I'm happy to help.
Thank you. I will follow up with you. And we can get another on the books. Great. Anything else that folks wanted to bring up on these projects? Okay. I talked about this. I want to put a slide on it so that I remembered to talk about it. I'm adding Fish Passage as one of like our always updates. There's a lot going on there right now. I can kind of go over some of the basics. I'm hoping that we have someone else who's more knowledgeable about this long-running fish passage project to come in and kind of do an overview. That's one of the things that the Holy Cross students are also going to be working on, is putting together a timeline of all the different things that have been done on fish passage over the past 30 years and why it's taking so long. The answer that I mostly hear about that is bureaucracy, actually. And everyone's kind of going like this and saying, well, if you don't do it, I don't need to do it. Well, you didn't do it, so I'm not going to do it. So the collaborative is me taking over the convening role. So previously, the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program had been the stakeholder to get everyone together and help facilitate around this fish passage project. But as they've moved into a funder role, they don't think it's appropriate to be the sort of disinterested party to facilitate. So I'll be taking that over, and we are planning a meeting with the tribes to make sure that they understand what's going on and have them share their input really early in this process as we design what fish passage can look like around these 4 dams. And we also will be having this community parade. There'll be a lot of information there. We have invited our legislators to come and speak at this, as well as the tribe. So there's a really diverse audience here. If anyone's interested in marching with us, please let me know. And if you're interested in your organization having a table at this event to share information about what you do, please let me know. It will be at the National Park Service. So thank you, National Park Service, for hosting us. And we'll be doing about a 3/4 mile loop starting and ending there. We are still finalizing our timing of that, but I believe we'll start around 1 p.m. And finish by 4. Probably the parade will be like 2 to 3 in the middle there. John.
Yes, this is also World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. And we thought tying in all the diverse ethnic communities in Pawtucket and Central Falls would fit into this day. So I'm hoping that day will kind of draw all the other communities out to support this fish ladder project and the Narragansett Indian tribe.
And if folks have connections to community organizations, whether it's schools or churches or union groups or whomever in the Pawtucket area in particular, but Pawtucket, Woonsocket, Central Falls, all around there, we'd love to work with you and get some contact information to reach out to them and make sure that they're included and represented. So,
Stephanie, this is Patty. If you
Hey,
could
Patty.
actually, and John, if you could actually send me information, I would be glad to send it out to our local partners, such as Rhode Island Latina Arts. The Cape Verde Museum just opened in Pawtucket on Prospect Street. I have a lot of that contact information. I'd rather just kind of send it out through Constant Contact. It's kind of easier. I mean, I can email you the list, but
Sure.
You know, some people don't want their emails shared, and and I want to respect that.
Yeah, thanks. We're still working on making that flyer so that we can put the times and everything on there, but we will get that over to you, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I will put it up on our event calendar as well. I've already shared it with the tourism folks with Rhode Island Commerce at a recent meeting, because potentially we will be doing a familiarization tour in anticipation of the Army-Navy game coming in December. So I wanted them to know that this was something that was happening in our area during that time. We will be a part of that. It's a FAM tour kind of thing. I don't know what the date will be on that, but just to make them aware of this stuff, and I will get it on that calendar as well. So it becomes a noticeable event and can get listed in many places.
Great, thank you. And if you haven't colored a fish yet, we're happy to send one to you, or you can go pick one up. I know John has them at Friends of the Blackstone. They look like this in the picture here. And we also are making postcards to send to DEM so that we can make sure we're showing that we have a really strong voice for this project, and that it's important for a number of different reasons that DEM put the priority to making this happen. So Anything else on fifth passage that folks want to talk about? Okay. I'm putting this out there, and I will, BRC, I will add your water quality monitoring summit, water quality summit to this list as well. There are a ton of conferences coming up. It is that season, so this is the list of some of them. I encourage you to check them out. We will be, I think, at all of these. Saturdays in March are always booked. And yeah, I would encourage you to go and learn a lot of new things. I know in Massachusetts, Biomap 3 is out. We talked about that a little bit at an earlier meeting. There have been a lot of presentations about that. At these, there's going to be information on culvert removal, lots of different things going on. And I wanted to also mention, talked about that. I'm working on creating a training on dam removal and ecological restoration. So in particular, I know we have a few communities in this area, like Sutton and Uxbridge, that are working on exploring dam removal. And communities usually have the same questions. It's a challenge. What do we do about this? So I don't have all the answers, and I would love to learn more about this. And there are a lot of others who have expressed the same interest. So DER, the Division of Ecological Restoration, and MVP don't have the capacity to put on and run this training, but they've sort of like unofficially given me their blessing to put it together. So we haven't determined exactly what it's going to look like, if we're going to do a pilot training that then can be spread everywhere and everyone can kind of take the same information around, or if we want one statewide training that's located within the central Massachusetts region and kind of bring everyone together for one time. But our goal is to more so train the trainer. So if you're at this meeting, you're probably one of our experts, whether you're going to be using it in your own community or whether you're providing technical assistance to a community. I heard back from some of our potential trainers that people would rather wait until the fall to do this, so we can really take the time to put things together. Haven't picked a date yet. It likely will be held at Clark University because I can have conference space for free there. But I'm open to other locations as well. And the goal is to train the trainer on everything from how do we engineer these things? What are the common questions? How do we get stakeholder buy-in? What are the hydrologic concerns? What is the ecological value and potential of restoration, et cetera? So we will have lots of different state agencies, Army Corps, DER, CZM, all the, alphabet soup of acronyms of folks hopefully sharing their expertise and also sharing their best resources. One of the things that will come out of this, hopefully, is determining which resources need to be updated. DER has a ton of information, but some of them are like 15 years old. So there may be opportunities for creating subgroups that can work on updating some of those resources as well. So if you're interested in being a part of that training program, please let me know. I have a running list. I've got about 30 people probably so far that either are interested participants and I keep you on one list, or if you are an expert in this and you want to be a trainer and or share your resources. So I will be planning a meeting next month as just an initial planning meeting so that we can figure out who's in the room, what information do we have, what do we need, how do I make an agenda, some of those basics. And I think Hillary King is not on this meeting today, but she's the central coordinator for MVP, and just a public thank you to her for helping me kind of lead this program. Any questions? Oh, you are here, Hillary. Thank you. Any questions on that or comments? Okay. If you want to be on it, just shoot me an email and I'll add you to our list. Okay, so we are at that time of public. It's my turn to stop talking and I'll hand it over to you. What updates do you all have? Programs that you have going on, things that you want everybody to know about? Ryan, go for it.
Hi, everyone. Stephanie, thank you for inviting us today. I think this connection was made through my colleague, Sarah O'Brien, but I just want to do a quick plug for the CEDS, which stands for the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. CMRPC is in charge of updating that. It's a 5-year document that creates an economic development strategic plan for the region of Southern Worcester County. So that's the city of Worcester and the 39 surrounding communities. Why is it important to any of you? The CEDS is referenced all the time in any kind of EDA or other federal and state funding. And it can often be the difference between making a grant application more competitive or less competitive. And we're trying right now to gather as much feedback from the region as we can. And we think that you all have a very unique perspective, this group in particular, about coming from an environmental perspective and one of tourism and cultural and historic preservation. We really haven't heard from many voices like that yet. So I just wanted to do a quick plug about the CEDS. I'm going to drop the survey link that we have in the chat. Cannot emphasize enough how much we would value you all taking the survey, and hopefully Stephanie can send that out via email after if that's a possibility. But I'll drop the survey link in the chat. Just wanted to give a quick plug about the CEDS, and I really appreciate you all letting me take a few minutes of your time this morning.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that is in our notes. So you should all have it on your agenda already. It will be in the follow-up notes. And yeah, please put it in the chat as well so we can catch people when they're paying attention right now. Thank you. David, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I may have some feedback issues here. Let me just mute my computer. Okay. Yeah, we're just a quick update on what's happening in Uxbridge. We're participated in a brief meeting, which was the aim of which was trying to increase the amount of money available through MVP from, I think, around $20 million this current year to $100 million. And there were people from all over the region involved, in Massachusetts only, of course, but still making connections with the whole to look at the whole Mumford River basin. It's a major tributary to the Blackstone, and in Uxbridge, as you probably know, we're working on dam removal. We're looking at it at this stage, and it's quite amazing. You really get into the community and the attachment to dams and the historic attachment to the the mills that grew up around them, the areas. It's quite interesting. And Steph, I'll write you an email, but just to let people know that I specifically, and I think we have interested partners from Northbridge and Sutton also, and probably Douglas, which includes the whole basin. So we'll be looking at that further. And right now we're at taking baby steps in Uxbridge. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. John, go ahead.
Did you say me?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
All right, great. We've applied for a couple grants to assist us with getting the Narragansetts and other intertribal members into the schools and after-school program. One of them was called the Papito Opportunity Connection. That was a grant for $14,600. And another grant was a Rhode Island United Way grant, and that grant was $75,000 a year for 3 years. And we're just hoping to get those two grants that would really catapult us into an area that we've never really went into before, and should, really help us out in bringing awareness to clean water in the fish ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. Crossing our fingers for those ones, hoping to hear back next month, hopefully, right?
Yes.
Great. Sarah, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So the Essential Mass Regional Planning Commission is in the beginning stages of developing a regional waste action plan. So this planning document will kind of take a further look at waste production and disposal through the Central Mass region to kind of understand like how much waste the region is disposing of, and then also to find ways to reduce the amount of waste being produced and to find more sustainable approaches to disposal. So to kind of kick off the planning process, CMRPC created a community survey for people in the Central Mass region to complete. And the survey kind of asks about like the types of waste that households produce, and also asks about residents' understanding of different disposal methods. So I'm just gonna post the link to this survey in the Zoom chat. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can put my email in the chat as well. So thank you.
Great. Yeah, I will add that to our notes and share that out. Good job, CMRPC, for having so much going on right now. It's fantastic. Patty, go ahead. Patty, we have you muted right now.
Oh, did you say me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant with sharing this because it's something that came out of the mind of Bob, my boss, and and he always comes up with, let's say, interesting things. And he got this wonderful idea of wanting to track how long it takes for something to travel down the river. And if you're in Rhode Island, you may have saw something on Channel 12. But if you see a pink plastic container floating down the river, it's got a tracker in it so that Bob can track how long it takes. Currently, it seems to be stuck somewhere in Worcester. They went up to Worcester yesterday and dropped it in the river. And so there's a pink plastic thing floating down the river with a tracker and a rubber ducky. Just an FYI, just to let you know, we tried to talk him out of it. I don't know what he think. I'm not really quite sure myself what he's hoping to gain from that, but just wanted to let you know. I don't know what anybody's thoughts are on it, but I had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I tried to talk him out of it.
Can you share that in case anyone sees it? You can contact Bob or Patty about it. And
no, don't contact Bob. Everything goes on that pink thing. Contact Bob or Sam in the education office. But currently, if you go to I can send you the link if you're interested in tracking it, but it seems to be stuck up in Worcester. It doesn't seem to be moving at all. And
it didn't get very far. Blackstone starts at the very bottom of Worcester.
It got caught up in something yesterday. It took actually that you're gonna laugh. They took 6 people yesterday out of doing other stuff to Worcester to do this. And Simon, who has been working with us on the canal boat, I guess, is the more technical person regarding the tracker. But they said it got stuck someplace. They spent time getting it unstuck, and they thought maybe the rain would push it down today, move it forward. But I don't think we had that much rain, to be honest. So, but anyway, it's just an FYI. So if you see it, contact Bob. If you think it's a bad idea, contact Bob.
Sounds good.
And I also shared something in the chat. There is on the mini land summit with the Audubon Society and the Rhode Island Land Conservation. Registration is open for that. So I did post that in the chat. Stephanie, so you can share the link and add that to lists, because we might be a good place to have a table. And also, just as an FYI, and particularly with relationship to John, and particularly what you're doing with Fish Passage, Rhode Island Natural History Survey is doing their Bio Blitz this year with the Narragansett Indians, and they have a big thing planned in June. believe down in Charleston. I know it's not related to any of the rivers, but it is working with the Narragansett tribes, and the folks over at the Rhode Island History Survey are great people that we might want to help encourage to help support our fish passage program. And that's all I have.
Yeah, that is great, Patty. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a member of the Rhode Island Natural History Survey, Stephanie, but I think I had mentioned them before, but if you want me to email you any links to you or John, I will do that.
I'm on their email list. I don't think I'm an official member, but
yeah,
do miss things. So I always need these meetings for people to remind me. And so April 8th was the Land and Water Conservation Summit coordinated by Audubon Society of Rhode Island.
Right.
May 25th is the Rhode Island Flood Mitigation Association's annual conference, which I can't attend because I already committed to Envirothon, but so I forgot to put that one on the calendar for everybody else. So thank you for sharing that. And then when the Bio Blitz is for the Natural History Surveys?
It's a weekend in June. I think it's the first weekend, and they have a informational session coming up at Roger Williams Zoo, because they were a big partner with that. I can send you the information. I get it. I actually haven't renewed my membership, but I've participated as a writer at some of these events.
Okay. Yeah, I will get the notes. I will get the info and I'll put it in the notes. Thank you. Good reminder.
Yeah.
Mark, go ahead and share an update.
Oh, this isn't an update, but it's just some general information. It's not quite as much fun as dumping some rubber ducks in the water, but the USGS did some time of travel studies on the Blackstone. It's not information that's sort of as readily available because it wasn't in one of their published studies, but what happened was, and it's probably longer ago than I think, but it was probably 15 years ago, maybe, there was a spill up in Worcester, and there was a lot of concern about how long it was going to take that untreated waste to make its way to Narragansett Bay, because it was a rather large spill. And so they did some dye tracer studies that were done with scientific rigor and all of that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in time of travel, you don't really have to do it yourself. I'd give USGS a call if people are really interested in it and have a need for that data. I can probably put you in touch with the right scientists, but just as an aside, I think we were all surprised at how long it took the water to get from Worcester all the way down to Narragansett Bay. It was a lot longer than we thought. We were prepared to collect samples within hours, and it turned out to be days by the time the water finally got downstream. So anyway, just my 2 cents on Blackstone River time of travel.
No, it's interesting, and I also wanted to, not that it's an update, but kind of make space if folks wanted to talk about the train derailment in Ohio. I know that through my involvement with hazard mitigation and climate resilience planning with communities, it's usually something that comes up when we do our municipal resilience and planning process, that municipalities that are along the river are concerned about, or that are along both the river and the train tracks in particular, what's being transported, if they always know what's being transported, knowing how to respond and having the appropriate training to have local firefighters and first responders get there and be able to deal with what happens if something like in Ohio happened here. So I know it's something that we're aware of, that's been written into hazard mitigation plans, that communities sometimes get some training on, but a lot of our railways are right along the river, and that's certainly a concern. They pass through our wetlands. Trains often, the railways have a lot of exemptions from environmental protection in terms of where they are and how they're managed. So I don't know if that's something that anyone wants to comment or talk about here?
Stephanie, this is Patty again. Just to let you know, in my past life, I worked with Attleboro Emergency Management Agency, and they actually worked with MEMA, the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, several years back in the late 90s, and did actually a staged train incident, you know, using, it wasn't environmental related, but it's possible something like that, if you wanted to do hazard, or something like that could be coordinated perhaps through MEMA and REMA, to set something up like that to address that. They do occasionally will hold those types of events for training purposes. So that's something to think about, particularly now that we have the new MBTA station right in Pawtucket, that is, you know, new and coming online, and is the Providence Worcester Railroad, obviously, that runs the entire length of the Blackstone Valley. So it might be worth looking into.
Yeah, thanks, Patty. Like I said, I know MEMA and Rhode Island Emergency Management is something that they've definitely thought about. I don't know how prepared we necessarily are for something, but that's why we do our hazard mitigation planning. So any other comments on that or any other updates folks want to share? Bill.
Steph, in Massachusetts, I know you might want to get in touch with Tiffany Skogstrom from the Office of Technical Assistance. They might be willing to come out. I know they did some community workshops on safe waste management in my district a few years ago that were fabulous. And they also linked it to MEMA, FEMA, all the programs out there, as well as industrial accidents, things like this. And you might want to see if you can get your regional community environmental response teams. A lot of times, fire chiefs are the head of the CERT programs in your communities. I know down here we have a couple that are working on a regional basis, so it's a few communities together. So you might want to see who has CERTs and how often they work together, and if there are plans, and you can throw this type of thing into their update plans. Might be a great chance to get them all together and work on that. I know the other thing that motivated the last one was Hurricane Harvey. So, I mean, down in Houston, but up here it was a big topic. That's why we ran it here.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things that, you know, we of course all wish it didn't happen, but now that it has, you know, it's worth taking that as an opportunity to think about being more prepared as we can be. Anyone else have updates that they want to share? Adam, was that a hand raised? Okay. No problem. Okay. So if we don't have any other updates, I do not need to keep you. I know several folks have had to drop off. Our next meeting is going to be March 17th. I am trying to be equitable about our Massachusetts and Rhode Island presenters. So switching back and forth or having two. So next month, we are going to have Casey Merkel from the Rhode Island Flood Mitigation Association and Judy Rondeau from Mass DEP talking about 604B and 319 grants, which are watershed planning and then watershed implementation. We've got someone from each state. And after that, we're going to have Amy Fay from the Health Foundation of Central Massachusetts be our April presenter. If anyone in Rhode Island is interested in being a presenter also in April, let me know. And then for May 19th, we'll have water tests, and we'll talk about that. So lots of good stuff coming up. Please check out the notes for all the different grants and job postings and things. I know as the collaborative, we are looking at applying for the EPA Environmental Justice Collaborative Planning Grant. It's a really long name, but I will hopefully be reaching out to some of you for letters of support for that and work on putting in exactly what we want to do, but we'll be working on both in the upper parts of our watershed, in particular in that environmental justice region of Worcester, and then down in the southern part organizing these fish passage planning meetings. So thank you everybody for your time today, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.